Hey, it has been a minute since my last video update on my journey towards purpose. And I just had to step back to process things a little bit. Now, let me just say this, just because you answer the call to purpose and you commit and start your journey towards accomplishing that purpose doesn't mean that fear is going to automatically disappear, and it just doesn't. And that's what I call the emotional side of success, when you have to continue to deal with that old mindset when you're trying to move into a space of a new you. So it's like one of my supporters, Charles, reminded me of this, and I love it. He says the hero's quest involves the descent to the underworld. It sucks for the hero, but after that comes the apotheosis, that apex of life, or as Maslow put it, we begin to experience our self-actualization. And I love him reminded me of that, because I love Joseph Campbell's theory on the hero's journey, and I really reference it a lot. So, but for me, stepping back to regroup doesn't mean giving up. It really means that I begin to reassess everything. I mean, everything, even my heart, my thoughts, my motives, as to what I'm really doing. And so this is where I'm at right now. And if you have ever known in your gut that the universe has called you to do something, it starts off like, a spiritual spark. It's small, but it begins to consume your every thought. I mean, even when I'm in meditation, I'm processing it. I'm thinking of ways in which I can bring it to fruition. But that's the catch. I'm trying to intellectualize it. And this thing that I'm doing with the learning spa, my whole work, giving myself permission, being an advocate in there, and the inner wellness for the African American community, is not an intellectual thing. It is a heart, a mind, and a spirit, or a soul thing. And I don't know what that is. And so trying to intellectualize it has just really, wow, it's really throwing me for a loop, because we live in a society that puts so much emphasis on our intellectual prowess, how smart we are, and that's really not working here. So, again, if you've ever known this, you also know how hard it is to step back, take your hands off of it, and let that spark grow and manifest itself organically, naturally. You know how hard that is. And especially if we're letting our fragile ego take the lead on things and dictate the narrative in which we're dealing with. So there's only been two other times that I have been in this space. And one time, it was the first time ever was when I was, when Spirit gave me the idea of doing my intimate apparel store. And then the second time, it was for my book, Giving Myself Permission. And now it's the learning spa. And I can now realize, I now see how all of those things really are working together. But I've also, in stepping back and to look at this process, I'm realizing there's a pattern with me. I'm notorious for jumping the gun. It's sort of like the spark happens for me, and then I say to my divine allies, I got it. I know exactly what you want me to do. And I take off running. And I don't stop to literally continue to converse with them, my spiritual allies, to really know, and to intimately within myself know what's going on and what I'm called to do. I just get going, only to come back and realize I ain't got it. I should have stayed for, I don't know, the conference or whatever, but I didn't. I took it and ran with it. And so now here I am, realizing this pattern that I constantly do. It's really like taking that spark and trying to force it to become a blaze through artificial means. I'm fanning it, I'm putting gasoline on it, and yeah, if I'm honest with myself, I know why I'm doing that though too. I'm allowing my fear, my fragile ego alternative reality to control the narrative. My fragile ego's alternative reality says that I'm going to miss an opportunity if I'm not trying to control it and take it and go now. It tells me that I have to redeem myself from my past mistakes and losses. That someone else is going to steal my idea, or that I have to make up for lost time, or to prove myself worthy. All of those things come up. And especially with the time thing, to Elohim, none of this matters. All of it is irrelevant. And it's really an unnecessary prison that we put ourselves in. And more importantly, when the universe calls you to a particular purpose, you are equipped to manifest that thing in its appointed time, not before. And no matter how much I try to fan this, pour gasoline on it, want it to hurry up, not going to happen until Spirit knows that it will do the better good. And that's where I'm at right now, focusing in on trusting that. So, hard for me to do, but I'm going to do it. That's what's going to be I'm giving myself homework for the rest of this year, to let go of things and allow my sacred expressive life force to take the lead. And when necessary, my intellectual self can fill in or give its input, but certainly not lead. This is as I said, it's a mind, heart and soul thing. And I don't know how to reach people's souls and minds and hearts. Only Spirit knows how to do that. So I have got to get in this position myself to begin to trust that. And that's part of my homework. I'm going to be doing the little things that will keep me moving towards bringing the Learning Spa to fruition. And things like I've already done integrating the Learning Spa into my current website, looking at researching the pros and cons of my LLC versus a nonprofit organization. Do I do either or do I do both? So it's those types of things that I need to be looking at and keeping myself busy there while the things naturally come up that I'm supposed to do. But more importantly, it's almost as Spirit is telling me to go back to my first works, and that is to finish the revisions on my book, to stop trying to control everything or resisting the unknown. I'm just going to have to be good with it. To let my sacred expressive life force really take the lead and not my intellect. To gain my name recognition the old-fashioned way. And that means going out and meeting people and talking to them about my first love, which is the power of self-permission. It's hard to do, but I know that I can do it. And so that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this year, to continue the process of preparing for the coming of the Learning Spa. Ashe.